can I get you up to date on my Aussie stuff and then
Please.
get some tips for you? All right. So if you don't want to hear about me playing Royal Melbourne or Patrick telling me what to do around Sydney, just fast forward a couple minutes. But we're gonna get into this. I played Royal Melbourne a couple days ago, but just absolute menace of a golf course in a good way, right? I mean the thud when these balls hit the greens, they were not even making pitch marks at all whatsoever. And it was like a begging and pleading every single hole. Excuse me. Oh, I thought I was going to see it never came. It's coming
Pros
though.
pro.
Yeah, where I was begging and pleading for my ball to stop rolling. Like, I mean, it was just lightning fast. I found it to be incredibly difficult.
Let's start at the top. How was the experience, getting in, walking into the clubhouse, the
Okay.
course, all the workers and all that,
Yep.
the extracurriculars before the golf course?
So I Ubered there. So the Uber took me right in the front, dropped me there. And I didn't realize, I guess there's also a hotel attached to it. So there's kind of multiple entrances when you first get there. There's kind of like what feels like the resort side, and then the pro shop, and then
Mhm.
that side of things is obviously where the two golf courses are. So uh beautiful. I mean, it's all behind hedges, right? And they've got the tennis courts out there, and they've got like the grass tennis courts, and like everybody's all very very hoity-toity in a good way. And then so I check in, everybody was very friendly. Went over to the driving range, went over the guy in the pro shop was like, listen, whatever you do you want to hit golf balls? Sure. Whatever you do, hit a couple of putts. Just trust me, hit a couple of putts. And he was right, because the first 10-footer that I hit on the putting surface on the practice greens rolled about 28 feet.
I was going to say 20 feet by 18 feet is pretty good, actually.
It was wild. So I guess the West course was shut down for a corporate event. So we played the East. And I don't know if you've experienced this. Like our culture, our golf culture is so different in
Mhm.
America, right? Where I feel like here and a lot of other places, it's very club oriented. So like people like introduce themselves like, "Oh, hey, I'm from so and so club." And a lot more people belong to clubs because it's a lot cheaper, it's a lot more accessible. And immediately immediately people were like, "Oh, where are you going to be next? Oh, you're going to be in Sydney. I know somebody in Sydney. Let me make a phone call. I mean, people who met me 2 minutes prior are reaching out to their friends to see if they can get me on their club in Sydney or their club in Adelaide. It's just a very huge like club networking culture.
Sounds like it. Very different from the US, where it's more hoity-toity.
Yeah,
Ties are all the way to the top. I worked and earned this membership through business ventures, who I
correct.
knew. Why should
Yes.
you also get to, you know, enjoy my riches, so to speak?
Yeah, and it feels that way. And this is much more so I actually, believe it or not, like 3 days. So I booked Royal Melbourne like 9 months in advance. Okay, like
Mhm.
that. Okay, I got a tea time here in Sydney for tomorrow. Like just because somebody knew some three text messages later, I got connected to somebody who's a member here, and they got me. It's just like it's crazy how fast and how hospitable these people are.
So who'd you play with? That's one question, and then I have a few about your actual round.
Yeah, so I played with a member of Royal Adelaide. So at Royal Adelaide, he told me it's like an 8-hour drive from Royal Melbourne. And they're reciprocals. They're right. So they I guess can play at each other. So a member from Royal Adelaide, and then two guys from Western Australia. So from like Perth,
Wow,
which
crazy SOBs, I bet.
yes. Why?
Yeah,
How, are they all like that?
other side of the outback. I've
Nice
heard.
guys, but I would not cross them.
Yeah, that's what I've heard about Western Australians.
What I found interesting is he said, the one guy said, "I'm 46 years old. I've only been to Melbourne, so like the east side of the island." He said twice in my life. He said they don't go coast to coast. They just stay on their side.
Different countries, pretty much.
It's funny you say that about them being a little, yeah, there's little. I wouldn't
Don't
get
even
into
get
like
me
a bar
started
fight with
on
this.
don't get me started on the indigenous Australians either. They don't
I
like patty.
I do.
They do not like me.
Well, you've already been known for some international incidents, so I'm not surprised by that. Okay,
Okay.
and then I did have a caddy, which I was under the impression, and I think it is like if you're a like an unattended visitor,
Mhm.
I think the first time you play, you're required to take a caddy. I think they
That
just want to make sure you're,
that makes sense.
yeah, just keeping
Yeah.
up pace. You're not slowing everything down. So I did have a caddy, which is always awesome.
Yeah, and probably helps a lot. Did you big big question. That's unbelievable. Um, did you put a golf ball into a greenside bunker?
Oh, no, but it would have been incredibly easy to do. Yeah, the way, okay, so that's the thing. So this is golf course. Um, it's pretty generous off the tee. There were times where, I mean, you could just blast it into the next fairway. And it's an old course. The fairway is in green. Everything's right there. It's right next to each other. It's easily walkable. So you could blast one into the opposite fairway. But the closer you got to these greens, like, you better be on full attention. I was greenside. I hit some shots greenside that I thought were perfect. The best shot I could have ever played, nowhere near holding the green. It's rolling for the next 10 minutes. It's just gone. And then, like you said, the bunkering. Oh my God. The way that these bunkers are cut into the greens around, I mean, there are situations where you could have a putt on, depending on the hole location, where you'd almost have to chip over a bunker from the green to the other side of the green.
Mhm.
No chance you'd hold it, but like it is dramatic on and around the greens.
Did you ever have to putt away from the hole?
Yeah, I had one where so thank God I had a caddy because I did not read anything correct all day long.
Yeah, a couple
But
balls out.
yeah, everything for me is like, I'm like, left edge, right? He's like, no, like 3 feet or a meter. I'm like, okay, now convert that. I had to. So we had one caddy, and he was like my caddy, right? So it's like,
Mhm.
he's paying attention to me. So he's getting the I asked him to switch to yards before the round started, obviously.
Wow, prima
Yeah,
donna getting
I
the
know.
full treatment.
So when he would shoot a number and he'd be like 155, and then one of the other guys would be like, "What'd you get?" It's like 155 yards, and then I felt like everyone else was kind of upset with me that I like, because he now that information is not that great for them.
Mhm.
But look, what am I going to do? I can't play in meters.
No, you can't do that. That's awesome. What was the
Yeah.
what was the final tally?
So I thought I played pretty well. I shot an 83, which
Oh,
is, yeah, which is, I mean, still, but like that's like 10 over my handicap, like my target score or whatever, or my differential. My
okay.
differential was like an 11. So I mean, that's here's what I'll say. I played pretty well. I made like a 40 footer for birdie early in the round, so that goes a long way. I made like another like 50 footer, so like I got a lot out of it, and still shot at 83, like well over my differential. And um dude, I mean, there were some things where I looked so stupid. Like I tried to hit this cutesy little bunker shot. The sand here, very different. It's almost like clay. I just sculled it, smacked it straight in the forehead. Like, it would just, I did a couple of stupid things. But I kind of stole a couple of shots. So yeah, the final tally was 83, and I think it's a par. I think it's a par 71, so 12 over.
83 first time around is 75 second time around.
Yeah, and I made like 4 or 5 pars in a row. I mean, it was like, it's very easy to make bogey. Like, it's just so incredibly easy to make bogey. I would hit 2 good shots, fairway, and then either on the green or around the green, and it's like, I'm staring at bogey here, right? Like, I'm just
Mhm.
trying to get this thing to, it just was so difficult. But we got a perfect day. It was awesome, and that was my first of 4 rounds that I'm gonna play while I'm here.
You poor thing.
I know.
First
My
and
wife's
forward.
my wife's the best, isn't she?
Oh my god. What else are you guys doing?
So we went to an NBL game, National Basketball League.
Mhm.
We are gonna walk around Sydney today. I'm gonna play golf tomorrow. We're gonna go up to Cairns in a couple of days, which is like Great Barrier Reef stuff.
Yep. You're going to the hostel and
Go to the
potentially the
hostel.
brothel.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do Adelaide,
Mhm.
and then we're gonna fly out. So that's kind of the plan for the next 2 weeks or so.
I will say for Sydney, definitely utilize the ferries. It sounds like you are right
Ooh.
by one of the main ferry, I don't want to call it a port, stations, and you can hit all these different little beach islands and stuff. Manly Beach, I had a good friend who grew up there. Great beach town, awesome. Uh, Cockatoo Island used to be a little penal place. I remember going there, and
Mm.
then Bondi, if you want to go do the
That's on the
walk.
list. Yes, yes. Bondi to Coogee, I think it
Yes.
is.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
really cool walk. The cemetery's really, really pretty, which sounds kind of counterintuitive, an oxymoron, kind of. But it's a great walk.
Okay. That is okay. That's definitely on the list. The ferries. Now, can we just go over there and walk on or buy tickets on, or do we have to like schedule this in advance?
No, you go. It's like the metro or the subway, but
Oh
for
wow.
Sydney.
That's pretty sick. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just
Which by the way, the public transportation is awesome.
it's very good.
It's like we've done. I mean, we've Ubered a couple places, but we've just mostly been on trams and trains and whatever else it takes, and it gets you anywhere you need to go.
And if you want to do something very touristy,
Yes.
you can do the bridge walk. You can sign up online, and they put you in these jumpsuits, and you climb up the bridge in the Sydney Harbor.
What do you mean climb up it? Like walk up it?
Yeah, so I mean, I think at some point you might have to climb a ladder. No, just stairs, perhaps. Probably just stairs. But you're like hooked in, and you're walking it with you have you have an earpiece in and a microphone. You kind of look like a 2000s pop star, so that the tour guide can tell you everything, and if you have questions, you can relay it back. It's
Wow.
pretty cool.
Okay. Well, I'll add that the bridge walk.